We live in this world that's, well, it's hyper-connected, right? We're constantly talking to and working with people from all sorts of different backgrounds. But here's a question. How often do we actually truly connect? Today, we're going to get into the one skill you absolutely need to thrive in this global world: intercultural competence.
You know that feeling, right? You're talking with someone, maybe it's a new colleague, and something just isn't clicking. There's that weird, awkward pause, or maybe a small misunderstanding. The whole thing just feels a little out of sync, and you can't quite put your finger on why.
And that weird out-of-sync feeling? Well, that's what this is all about. More often than not, the static in our communication isn't about the specific words we're using. No, it's about the entire cultural programming running in the background, all the unwritten rules, the values, the perspectives that shape how we see and interact with everything.
So, how do we get a handle on this? Well, here's our game plan. We're going to look at why this matters so much right now, define what this competence thing really is, break it down into 4 key parts, map out the journey to getting better at it, see how it plays out at work, and then wrap up with how you can start making improvements today.
Okay, let's dive right in. First up, why has this skill suddenly gone from being a nice little bonus to an absolute necessity? The short answer is that our world is shrinking, and it's shrinking fast.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Technology lets us have a meeting with someone on the other side of the planet instantly. You can hop on a plane and be in a completely different country tomorrow. Our economies are so tangled up together, and thanks to migration, our own neighborhoods are becoming these incredible mosaics of different cultures. The lines that used to keep us separate are getting blurrier every single day.
So if we're all going to be bumping into each other a lot more, what's the tool we need to make sure those interactions are, successful? That tool, my friends, is intercultural competence.
When you boil it all down, intercultural competence is really about 2 things. Being effective, that means you actually achieve what you set out to do in the conversation. And being appropriate, which means you do it in a way that respects the cultural rules and norms of the person you're talking to. It's this beautiful balancing act between getting things done and keeping relationships strong.
This quote just nails the central challenge here. It's like we're all walking around wearing these invisible cultural glasses. They color everything we see, everything we do, from how we say hello to how we think about a problem. Real competence starts with a simple but huge realization that you're wearing these glasses and that everyone else is wearing a pair too.
So how do you actually build this competence? Well, it's not some magic trick. It's really a combination of 4 distinct but totally interconnected components.
The first piece of the puzzle is knowledge. This is about knowing the rules of the road, so to speak. It's understanding a culture's values, what's considered taboo, and their general communication styles. This can be super specific, like a particular custom, or it can be a broader understanding of cultural patterns. Let's make this super concrete. Take a simple action, like ruffling a kid's hair. In Australia, that's a totally normal, friendly gesture. But in Thailand, where the head is seen as sacred, doing that is a huge no-no. Same action, completely different meanings. That's the power of having that specific knowledge.
But just knowing stuff isn't enough, right? The other 3 parts are just as vital. The affective component is all about your attitude. Are you genuinely motivated, curious, and open-minded? The psychomotor part is about your actions, your body language, your tone of voice. And finally, the situational component is your ability to read the room and pick the right approach for that specific moment. Real competence is when all 4 of these things are working in perfect sync.
Now, learning to get those 4 components working together isn't like flipping a switch. It's a process. It's a journey of evolving how you even experience cultural differences. And lucky for us, there's actually a map for this journey.
The absolute heart of this journey is a fundamental shift in your perspective. It's about moving from a place where your own culture feels like the default setting for reality to a place where you see it as just one of many valid ways of seeing the world.
So, this map is called the Developmental Model of Intercultural Sensitivity. It basically lays out 6 stages. We might start out in denial, where we're pretty much unaware of cultural difference. Then maybe we move to defense, where we see difference as a threat. It's very us versus them. In minimization, we try to smooth over differences by saying, deep down, we're all the same. The huge turning point is acceptance, where we start to genuinely respect and get curious about difference. From there, we can learn to adapt our own behavior, and some people might even reach integration, where their very sense of self becomes multicultural.
Now, if that chart feels like a lot, don't worry. You can basically boil it down to 2 core mindsets.
The first three stages, denial, defense, and minimization, fall under what's called an ethnocentric mindset. That's when your culture is the center of your reality. The last three stages, acceptance, adaptation, and integration, are part of an ethno-relative mindset. And that's the big leap, when you start to see your culture in the context of many others. So just for a second, think about it. Where do you think you tend to operate on that spectrum?
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but where does the rubber really meet the road? The modern workplace. This is the high-stakes arena where intercultural competence is no longer optional, it's a business imperative.
Think about it. Today's companies are built on diverse teams. But when you put people with totally different work values together, you're going to get friction. For example, a Malay team member might prioritize keeping the group harmonious, while a North American colleague is laser-focused on individual achievement. Nobody's wrong here. It's just a clash of underlying values. Without competence, this stuff leads to conflict and people leaving. But if you have it, whoa, that's where you unlock creativity, you boost morale, and you find a serious competitive edge.
So we know what it is, we know why it matters. The final and maybe most important question is, how can you actually get better at this? Let's look at 3 really practical steps you can take.
First, make an active effort to look for what you have in common with people. It's a simple, powerful place to start. Second, you've got to do the hard work of challenging your own stereotypes. That ethnocentrism we talked about, judging everyone else by your own standards, is the biggest roadblock. You have to consciously fight that instinct. And third, develop your flexibility. Be willing to step out of your comfort zone a bit to adapt your style to meet someone halfway. This isn't about losing who you are, it's about adding more tools to your communication toolkit.
In the end, becoming more interculturally competent is really a journey of self-awareness. It all starts with understanding those glasses you're wearing every single day. So the question I want to leave you with is this: which cultural lens are you looking through, and how is it shaping the world that you see?